3 fouls isn't too many. We were partway through the fourth quarter or the third quarter. I thought we had some time. She ended up picking up that fourth one pretty quick, but usually she's pretty smart around that. I have a pretty good feel for when to sub her and when not to, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. But I just thought she could. If it was 4, obviously she wouldn't be in. But I thought we had gone enough time that she had had enough rest. I'd gotten her rest just not that long before that. I think people foul when they're tired, in my opinion. So that's what I thought. Yeah, yeah. But our team did, I thought, a really nice job of weathering that storm when she was out. That's something that we talk about all the time. She is certainly the leader in the charge, but we have a lot of other players who play really well. And I think that the shots, sometimes actually when she's in, we direct the shots to her so much that we get bogged down. And I think that there are times when she's out of the game where, we're moving the ball a little bit more freely. I certainly don't like it when she's out of the game, but I like to have her as an option because I think we play really well together when she's in too. But it just gives us a different element, So I thought that our team really weathered that storm while she was out, and it could have gone a lot of different ways there, and they got enough stops. Claire got a nice big offensive rebound. A couple other people got some offensive rebounds, and I thought Mick gave us some good physical post defense at that time. So, not how you want it to go, but that's why.
Yeah, you gave up 16-point lead with her on the bench
Mm-hmm.
in the game.
Yeah, were we up 16 in the end? There?
Well, first half you had 36-20 lead. You gave up most of that lead, and then when she was out
Yeah,
again,
not the whole 16. They went on an 8-0 run, I think, and she's the best player on the court, so that's very likely to happen. Basketball is a game of runs, and so you have to weather their storms. You have to take their punches a little bit, and you have to throw some of your own. That's the terminology that's used in our locker room. So they certainly landed some punches, and then at the time when it was important for us to bob and weave a little bit, we started bobbing and weaving, and we threw some of our own. So I thought that that's going to happen. She's a plus 19, when she's in the game. So it's pretty sizable, and that's just not quite the same when she's not in.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about how great Allie Turner was also? And I think her and Stacy have a really good connection too when she's on the court. I guess can you talk a little bit about that and also how good?
Yeah. Stace is a point guard coach, and I think that she and Allie, she definitely they understand each other. She's coaching her and Neshi all the time. That's why she sits where she sits on our bench. I don't know. Some people don't know why I don't sit at the front or why we don't sit wherever. We sit Stacy next to the point guards. And so there's always just a couple of them, and she's supposed to get them ready. She's supposed to watch the game with them. She does a great job building that relationship and helping them to develop from a perspective. They have a great respect for her because of what she was as a point guard and actually still is. I would take her right now. No slight to our point guards, but she's really good still. So I think they believe in that. And I just thought, Liz Smith is as good and crafty a defender as there is. And Allie is a very good freshman. But, Liz Smith on Allie, we knew that was going to happen. We've shown clips of her back tapping. We've shown clips of her just moving her feet, cutting you off. She doesn't use her hands. She's a great defender. And so we knew that Allie was going to have to be ready. And what I liked the most about her was that she didn't let those things rattle her. And then when she was open for shots, she knocked them down. So I think sometimes if you have someone who's that good a defender in your craw the whole time, that you let that affect your shooting or your decision making. And I know she had a couple turnovers, but it wasn't because she was affected by the pressure. I think they came at traps or different things. So I just thought she did a really good job of then settling in, and when she was open, letting it fly and kind of playing with that carefree mentality.
So looking at the last 4:03 of the game when Ejim was back in, and she got, I think I added it up, was 8 points, 3 rebounds, and a steal, and did just a phenomenal job down just in that last stretch of the game. And what did you see out of that for the team to clutch up and close out the win in that way they did?
Well, Vaughn made her free throws. She right when she subbed in, we got a sideline play, and she swept and drove to the basket and scored a basket. And I just think her presence, she knew that she needed to be smart and that they were going to try if anyone could try to take a charge or anything like that, then she was going to need to. She's the defensive player of the year from last year. So she switched out on Anaya James and stopped her from shooting a three. She's capable of doing all of that. And so I think that she was aware of the situation, and she showed up how she was supposed to show up. How everyone in our locker room knows that she's what she gets night in and night out, what she means to our team. So it's no surprise to any of them. But she showed up like a player of her caliber is supposed to show up at that time of the game. And she does that for us every day at practice and every game. So it's not a surprise.
And speaking on not as much on the offensive side of the ball, but what Bree was able to do, especially on the rebounds that she did with her assists, that's some really nice ones in this game.
Yeah, I think offensively too. Like she's just steady. You know what I mean? And we are used to her making shots. Today she played very steady. I know she missed those couple free throws, and that's not like her. But she's in the game at the end playing defense because we know that she's smart and long, and she understands the game and the time and the score and all of those things. And she usually makes right plays. She makes winning plays, and so that's why we left her in. She's trying to improve on the glass. She's going a lot. She just isn't able to come up with them. Kind of like Esther was going before and not coming up with them. Now Esther's coming up with a lot of them. Hopefully we can get Bree, same with Claire. So these guys Chantel is spending a lot of time working with them on their rebounding and just the little fine details of it, because it does matter, especially with Mount out, that like we have to have multiple people rebounding. And if Vaughn's not in the game, she goes and gobbles up a lot. But if she's not there, then it's either it's a we or we is me mentality on the glass. And so Bree, I think I'm happy that she got the 4. I think that's a big deal for her.
It seemed like, especially near the end of the first half, there was a little bit of frustration and confusion on the bench about kind of what you guys were doing, it looked like, on both ends of the floor. What was that kind of confusion and frustration about, and what adjustments did you guys make?
Well, I mean, we weren't in great help side. I think if I remember correctly, we ran our baseline out of bounds plays wrong, many of them. I don't know what was going on with those, to be honest, nor does our team. So we looked disjointed. At that time, again, Bonnie was on the bench. And so we're trying to figure out, which one is the best forward to have in there. Is it Bree or is it Taylor or is it, Esther and Mick, or what are we doing? So there's a little bit of that we're still working through. But I think that it was just kind of, we weren't able to, I yelled at the poor SWX person, or it wasn't real nice when I just said, we're not doing anything. We're not defending, nor are we scoring the ball well or running clean offense. And so that last couple minutes, that's what I thought was happening. We needed to either get the stops and dial in there, or we needed to dial in on offense, and we weren't dialed in on either side.
You've got a little nice pattern of good starts going right now.
Mm-hmm. We do. Yeah, we do. We, especially when you're here, I think we come out ready and firing, and we've been getting rebounds. So the shots that we've missed, we've made a lot of shots. We've shot the ball really well in first quarters. Again, we believe that it all matters, but that sets the tone. Just like I didn't like how they had momentum going into halftime, and they end up winning that quarter. You like to have momentum throughout the game if you set it from the tip, and so that's a key for us.
I know you haven't seen it, but Oregon State beat St. Mary's 80-45 today.
Yeah, St. Mary's is tough. I think they've got some sleepers. I've only seen a couple of their scout films. Obviously, they're the last team we still haven't seen yet, even though we're done with some. But they have a couple individual players. Their zones are tough, and it's a whole new style. So even last year, I think they were adjusting to the new coach's style. But now it's that he's recruited some players that really fit his style well. And if you, like most teams, if you let them play their style, then they're pretty good. I don't know if Oregon State zoned them the whole time or played them man, but they have a different size. They're a different team than us, but I think hopefully we'll find some ways to be strong against them too.
Coach, I thought I'd give you an update. Bonnie's 15 points away from breaking the all-time scoring record. Do you care if she does it on the road or if she doesn't here?
No. Yeah. I just think that probably by some point at the end of the season, it'd be good for us if she got at least 15 more. So that would be helpful. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Probably good for Thursday if she could do it on the road also. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys.
I don't know. I feel like I'm used to it at this point. So it happened and I was just like, here we go again. So I feel like now it doesn't frustrate me as much anymore. My mind tends to go to tactically, how do we come back and play smart? How do I continue to support my teammates that are out there that are playing? So I don't get real frustrated anymore with a lot of these foul calls. When I get my fourth one, I'm kind of just let's see how the game plays out and let's keep going and find another way. So yeah.
That first one they called on was a mystery to me, but anyway.
Yeah, I was
You can't comment on it, but you were destined to sit probably 5 minutes to start the fourth. What were you trying to do to help your teammates in that
If anything, just like get people situated. I know like Allie's out there like working hard, trying to get open looks. Like people are like trying to stay in front and play good defense. So if anything, like cheering them on, uplifting them, but then also like helping them tactically, like with whatever we like think can help us get our groove or get us runs and stops and things like that.
Allie, you've been defended by a lot of good guards this year. I mean, some real athletic guards, especially in the numbers. How tough was Liz Smith today?
Very tough. She's a really good defender. We talked about it in the locker room, how tough it was going to be for the point guards to be defended by their two guards. And I think I did have a lot of turnovers, so that obviously wasn't great, but everybody else helped out so much that it made it tough for me. But as a team, I think we handled that pressure nicely.
What was it about Pacific? I mean, it just seemed like the longer they got to hang around, the more confidence they seemed to get.
We like said the same exact thing. I mean, like that's kind of like their style of play. Like they don't really back down. They're scrappy. They want to get after it. They're competitors. And the more you give them that I don't know, those buckets or those steals, those turnovers, like that gets their energy going. So those are the stuff that you need to consistently stay disciplined in order to make sure that you're keeping control of the game, or else like you're giving it putting it in their hands.
Those last 403, you had 8 points, 3 rebounds, and a steal in just that last 4-minute stretch once you got back in, and a lot of those being free throws, of course. Sort of, what was going through your mind as you got back out on the court and said, all right, time to clutch up and finish this game?
Yeah, I mean, again, just doing whatever my team needed. I think one of the first possessions was we need a score here, so let's get a score here, or we need a stop or a rebound, let's get a stop and a rebound. So just making sure that I'm putting my mind towards what the team needs in that moment, and what we needed was score, stop, score, and to combine those and stack them back to back to back.
Allie, do you feel like your role changes when something when Ejim has to go out because of foul trouble? Does your role change and you're like, all right, I gotta start shooting more, or what do you think in when that happens?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm necessarily thinking that. I try to just be steady, and I think that's what Coach Lisa wants out of me too, to just keep the offense moving even when our top scorer, top playmaker isn't in the game. So I think it's more of a how else are we going to get shots, not just for me, but for the team? So what other offense do we have to run, or how else can Esther get open as opposed to how Bonnie can get open? So more just tactical changes like that.
I asked Coach Fortier about this. You and Stacy seem to have a really good connection. I just was wondering, can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, I know she's a point guard coach.
Yeah.
What's that connection like?
I think so. She just handles the point guard so well as a group. We have a little huddle before the game. She tells us what she wants out of us. On the bench we sit next to her. She's just a really good role model because she's a player, but also such a good coach, and she can really get every single part of us, and she really knows how to push us and in what moments to tell us things. So I think that she just has a really good feel for coaching the point guards.
One more for Allie. Riding on a 9-game win streak now, going to St. Mary's, the only team left in the WCC you haven't faced yet. What's that sort of now your mental state going into that game where sort of you have both these things on the line?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting to play teams for the first time because honestly most of our team hasn't played St. Mary's before. There's a few seniors that have been here. So it's always cool to play a new team, but also we just have to go into the game like we do every game where we know we can lose, but if we play as a team, I mean, I think that we've been doing pretty well, so we just need to keep playing how we've been playing.
Anyone else?
Bonnie, I asked Coach Fortier. I said I just had to give her an update. I said you're 15 points away from breaking the all-time record. But here's the thing.
Can't
Here's what
tell
I
me
asked
that.
her. I know. Do you care if it's on the road or if it's at home?
I thought about that in the back of my head. I'd like it to be at home, but again, we just gotta play basketball, so I don't get a say in it. So yeah, it would be cool to do it in the kennel and things like that, but I just want to do it for Gonzaga anyways. So I do care, but I don't really care. I can't really care.
Please don't only score 14 next game just to get it here.
I kind of want this to get behind you a little.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
if you'd had 38 today, you would have taken care of it.
Come on.
Gosh darn it. Yeah.